What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about The Luck of the Irish. So The Luck of the Irish is the next of the Disney Channel original movies that I'm going back and revisiting here for the channel. This time around I have my buddy Mike from his channel, The Z Review, hanging out with me to talk a little bit about this movie. I tried to make a lot of the people who collab here on the channel at least at some point review a Disney Channel original movie from my past with me, and this time Mike was the victim. So what I could say is, going back and revisiting a big chunk of these now in this past year, some of them have held up and still kind of retain that charmful cheesiness to them, and some of them have just turned out to be pretty boring watches to go back and revisit. And even some of them that were bad, it was kind of like a it's so bad it's good kind of nostalgic thing for me. So they've all kind of hit me slightly different, but it's been fun to go back and revisit all of these films nonetheless. So here we are now with The Luck of the Irish that came out in 2001, and going back and revisiting it, I could say it's easily one of the better ones that I've gone back and revisited. A lot about the way that this one is shot and a lot of the performances in this film are a lot better than some of the really weak cinematography and performances and direction and story that we see for majority of these late 90s, early 2000s Disney Channel original movies. The Luck of the Irish centers on a character named Kyle, who is essentially like the coolest kid in school. He's the luckiest kid in school. He's like the star basketball player, and life is just really lucky for him. Whether it's good moments with the ladies, finding money on the ground that's just kind of laying around, or making basketball shots even backwards sometimes with little to no effort and making it each and every single time. Yeah, without a doubt, Kyle is this super lucky dude. And we learned not too long into the film that the reason for that is because he has a lucky gold coin around him, and he does not know the heritage of where it came from. He just knows that it was like a family heirloom. He was given it while he was a baby, and he still wears it every single day, which is kind of crazy because, you know, kids kind of go through different phases. I can imagine there had to have been periods of time in his life where he didn't wear this necklace, but the idea is that he does. He has worn the necklace every single day, and because of that, he has given his family good luck because he finds out later on in the film that he's Irish, and not only is he Irish, he's a leprechaun. And because of this, his parents changed their names, they moved to different places, and were doing everything they could to separate themselves from the life of being a leprechaun and actually just kind of have a normal life in America. So he has to wear this necklace around himself at all times in order for not only himself, but his whole family to not turn back into leprechauns, literally shrinking down in size, their hair color changing, their ears turning like a pointy elfish kind of way. And yeah, overall, it's a very silly and over-the-top premise, but I feel like the film does a good job of keeping it light, keeping it fun, and it's actually well acted for the kind of movie that it is. Now, it is a Disney Channel original movie, so there are going to be those over-the-top elements that don't work, some lines of dialogue, some cheesy elements that are going to make you cringe a little bit today. But as somebody who enjoyed this movie when I was younger and hadn't seen it in quite some time, at least over 15 years, revisiting it now, I had a good time with it. It was nostalgic, it was silly, it was over the top. There are elements of the story and characters that I could have completely erased, and things about the movie that 110% don't work. But on an overall level, for what it is, I really enjoy this movie. And I think more than anything, what I like about it are the themes that it has in the movie. Number one, it paints America in a very colorful and vibrant and very accepting way that I really enjoy, and kind of fits that late 90s, early 2000s vibe and the feel that was going on in the country at the time. But, you know, watching it today in 2021 with the political divide and just the divide in so many areas that there is all over the entire country today and just the world overall, yeah, the way that they depict America and its unity and its various cultures in this film, it doesn't really hold up to the way that the world is today, sadly. Beyond that, I really enjoyed the theme about accepting your heritage, you know, giving a crap about what your heritage is. As somebody who's half Puerto Rican, half Cuban, and grew up in Miami, you know, there are elements of my heritage that I'm definitely, you know, connected to, but quite frankly, I don't really connect to it that deeply. I've never been to Cuba or Puerto Rico, and I really have no huge desire to go there, to be completely honest. But, you know, movies like this definitely makes me kind of want to tap in a little bit more to my heritage. It definitely highlights that everybody comes from different places, that their families come from different places, and, you know, that's part of who you are. That's part of literally who you are. And this movie takes it to the next level by our main character's heritage literally being heavily part of who he is by the fact that he is indeed a leprechaun and is becoming a leprechaun throughout the course of the film. One last thing that I'll mention before we hop into Mike's portion of the review is that the villain in this film, played by Timothy Omundson, yeah, I really really enjoy him. He's a very over-the-top kind of villain. He takes the necklace that has the gold coin on it, and that's the reason now that Kyle is learning that he is a leprechaun. His mom turns into a small leprechaun, and over the course of the film, they have to chase down this evil leprechaun to get the gold coin back to their family. And there's like a sports element to it. Like I said, our main character is a basketball player, so there is a big sports element near the end of the film. So this movie is partially a sports movie and kind of the mix of it being the silly Irish, leprechaun film at the same time. So it does a good job of balancing those things for what it is. Again, it's cheesy, it's over the top, it knows what it is. Timothy Omundson is somebody who I would go on to really enjoy in things like Psych, a TV show that I genuinely enjoy. But yeah, I liked him as the villain, and overall what I can say about this movie on the first part of this review is I like it, and it's a movie that going back and revisiting, it's cheesy, it's over the top, but that nostalgic quality still kind of lasted for me, and the film still has a lot of charm. Now let's go ahead and hear what my buddy Mike from the Z Review had to say about this one.
Top of the morning there. Hey guys, it's Mike from the Z Review, and thank you so much for Anthony A. Perez having me back yet again onto a collab. So firstly, I just have to shout out Anthony simply because Anthony has helped me so much in my YouTube ambitions and projects that I've had so far. He's helped my channel grow massively, and if it wasn't because of Anthony actually having me on a collab, kind of for the first time ever on someone's channel, I maybe wouldn't be in a position where I am today in terms of gaining more subs. So firstly, Anthony, massive thank you to you, man, and the community that you've built so far. It is absolutely amazing, and guys, if you haven't subscribed to him, go give him some love. Tell him that even the Z Review suggested giving you some love. But back to the review. So Anthony's had me check out this Disney Channel original movie. Now I know he's very known for having his guests do one of these, so it's pretty cool that it's my turn to check out one of these, and I'm checking out a movie that I haven't seen before called The Luck of the Irish, which is a 2001 movie. And believe it or not, when this movie actually came out on Disney back in the day, it was the highest viewed premiere of all time on Disney. And now this could be due to the marketing, or maybe the fact that this is reaching an outer audience than just the US, because in the UK, especially when I was around 10 years old when this movie came out, a little young Mike, this film, and especially the UK, we love Disney Channel original movies, and we probably still do. However, I don't check out the new ones nowadays so far, so I can't comment on what they're like, but I do have a very fond memory of some of the movies I'm just about to mention, because this one is directed by Paul Hoen, who's used to doing like the Even Stevens movies, and also a personal favourite of mine called You Wish. And I'm not sure if Anthony's actually seen that one, but certainly one of my personal favourite movies. However, with The Luck of the Irish, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't actually knew this movie existed. So when Anthony actually reached out to me and said, look, hey man, do you want to collab on another video? I was like, yeah, of course I have. Anytime Anthony needs me for a video, I'm happy to collaborate. But when I actually checked out the movie, and especially the poster of this, I was like, no, this doesn't ring any bells. I can't remember this premiering back in 2001 at all. So the really cool thing is about this, as I mentioned, it's directed by Paul Hoen. He's done quite a few Disney Channel movies. I like that he captures the magic in most of these movies, and especially in this one, because this one is around a guy called Kyle, who has a very lucky gold coin around his neck at all times. He is a great basketball player in school. He's a very popular kid. He is always finding money on the street. Just the fact that he has this look, he's got everything going for him. His friend, played by Glendon Chapman, who plays Russell in the movie, is very jealous of this. He's always wondering like why he's just so gifted. He doesn't have to kind of work hard for the talents that he has. Bonnie Lopez, she's always wondering, kind of the same as Russell, like this guy is so lucky. He doesn't have to work for everything that he has, whereas those two actually do have to work to, for example, be clever in school, get the great grades, or Russell wants to be great at basketball. However, when this coin goes missing, Kyle's luck goes from bad to worse, and soon we eventually learn about his true heritage, which is Irish, and he turns into a leprechaun. A very unique plot, I would say that about this movie to start with. Very quickly, this movie, as I mentioned, stars Ryan Merriman, Glendon Chapman, Alexis Lopez. We've also got the great Henry Gibson as Riley O'Reilly, and I was very surprised to see Timothy Omundson as Seamus McTiernan in this movie. So very sorry if I've kind of brutalised the Irish accent, but I did try it nonetheless. I actually really enjoyed it. As I say, I've never seen this before, and I found this movie to be a very easy watch. I was really invested in it. I didn't feel like it overstepped its runtime at all. I felt like overall, the performances of this movie, they were actually pretty good. You could maybe say there was minor 1 or 2 performances that weren't the best, but it is a Disney Channel original movie. One thing that I really liked about this plot and the message it was sending to its audience, and maybe I'm glad that I watched it now compared to in 2001 when I was 10, because I maybe wouldn't have grasped the message as much. But it's all about family heritage. We've all got them. For example, I am from the UK, but my dad is from Malta, so I'm half Maltese. So I'm proud to tell everyone that. And I'm not shy to hide that away, because that is my family heritage. Now, for example, you guys might also have a heritage. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a case of you've got to accept that heritage, what you have, and really embrace that and honour it. And I really felt like this movie gave a great message in terms of having that heritage piece in there, which is the prime focus of this. But also, I like the message that it says, like, look, you can't just have everything handed to you. You've got to work hard in life to be great, for example, in school and getting the great grades, or playing basketball. You know, it goes into a lot of practice. These NBA stars, they don't just get recruited overnight. I liked both those messages in this movie. I didn't feel like they were forced. It was kind of just like a natural flowing messages throughout this movie, and I really respected that about The Look of the Irish. It kept me entertained throughout, although there was a little bit odd times where there was kind of like poor CGI green screen. I will say that, especially one scene based in kind of like a camper van truck. Overall, I kind of got like a sense of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in this movie, but definitely one part, especially when the man turns into a leprechaun, it definitely gave me those Rick Moranis Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes a lot. It just reminded me so much of my childhood and teenage years that I really liked this film. There wasn't really many minor gripes that I had. Again, I've mentioned them just before, but overall, I like the performances in this. I think one of the best characters in this movie was definitely played by Glendon Chapman, who plays Russell. I felt like he was just came across as like this really sweet kid. I really felt like he was one of the standouts in this. And also Alexis Lopez, who plays Bonnie Lopez, I thought was great. I thought that they're both performances as like the main cast of the friends of the main protagonist, Kyle. It worked really well. There was one scene I will say, however, that Kyle is like shrinking down as he's becoming this leprechaun. Especially this part I noticed when he's in the factory. Because before this, we get a shot of him and Bonnie in the school, and he's shorter than her. However, when in the factory, he was actually a bit taller than her. I was like, well, he's just shrunk. What's going on? I guess there was a very mild error in the continuity of this film. At the end of the day, I wasn't really too fussed by it. I loved that kind of end 20 minutes scene of it, where it kind of like intensified a little bit in this movie, and it felt like there was some more stakes at hand in this battle of this coin, and all about the look and all about the stakes of Henry Gibson's character, Riley O'Reilly, being in trouble and maybe lost forever, especially as Kyle helps Riley O'Reilly and his mum kind of come together as this family bond was once broken. I would have liked them maybe to touch on that slightly a little bit more. But overall, guys, this Look at the Irish movie was actually really good. I definitely recommend checking it out. And you also like basketball, because this film focuses on that a lot, which I'm a sucker for basketball movies. You're definitely going to enjoy The Look of the Irish. But Anthony, thank you so much, man, for asking me to collab once again on this review. Really appreciate the time, and I really appreciate you asking me to jump on this. But guys, I'm going to hand it back over to Anthony and his remaining thoughts on Look of the Irish.
A big thanks to Mike from the Z Review for being here in another video. Loved hearing your thoughts on this man, and as usual, guys, you can find the link to anybody who's here on my channel down below in the description box. Go give him some love, let him know I've sent you, and for now, let's go ahead and wrap up my thoughts on this movie. Fuck, bro. I fucking hate allergies so much. But yeah, Disney Channel original movie from when I was a child, The Luck of the Irish. A very silly, over-the-top, whimsical film that definitely has a lot of charm to it. When you really look at the story overall, you can't help but feel like the main girl, the love interest in this movie that I haven't really talked about, is really the reason that anything really happens. Earlier in the film, she's kind of the one who pushes our main character, Kyle, to kind of learn more about his heritage and kind of guilts him into not really knowing where he's from. That kind of sparks Kyle's interest, and eventually he starts asking his parents questions, which he very obviously notices that they are, avoiding what it is that he's asking. And eventually he, comes to kind of learn some more information about his family that way, which leads him to the location that our villain is at, who ends up taking the necklace from him. So as I think about the movie, I'm like, if that girl just never got involved, he would have been living his life as normal, but then again, we wouldn't have the movie. As for big negatives of this film, there were moments of the film that I found myself a little bored. It was getting a little bit slow at times. I didn't really care about what was happening in those moments, even though I was, revisiting it. But overall, I like that the performances are pretty solid in this film and believable, but definitely have that TV movie cheese. Beyond that, the only real negatives, again, I would have are gonna be lines of dialogue and moments, specifically in some of the performances, that you'll have in a Disney Channel original movie and think, yeah, like that just 110% fits a Disney Channel original movie from the early 2000s. It's definitely in that realm, but I think it's better than most, in my opinion. Going back and revisiting this one versus a lot of the other ones that I've watched, this one definitely stood out to me a little bit more. It was fun, and like I said, pretty well acted for what it is. And something else I enjoyed was that the practical effects and the visual effects overall were pretty good. Now, when people are shrunken down to, Leprechaun size, which is a lot smaller in this movie, almost like Ant-Man style, versus, your traditional Leprechaun that's just more of like a smaller person. This movie definitely has some issues or some cheesy elements there when it comes to the visual effects for the really small shrunken people, but a lot of times it works, especially when they're actually smaller but on bigger sets or working with props that are actually bigger than them, so it kind of allows you to kind of believe it a little bit more. But as far as the practical effects and some of the makeup given to like our Leprechaun villain near the end of the film, or like the ears, I thought all of that really worked. I enjoyed the way that a lot of the effects of the film looked, but again, anything from the attire, certain lines of dialogue, and just that Disney cheese that you expect from Disney in and of itself, it's very present in the made-for-TV way for this movie. So again, a big thanks to Mike from the Z Review for being here in this video. You can find the link to his channel down below in the description box. Go give him some love and let him know I sent you. And if you guys are interested in checking out more of my videos, click subscribe. There's going to be tons more on this channel, so much before this and so much after this, and you guys can look forward to an actual live stream that I'll be doing very soon, another episode of Random Rambling with Mike the Z Review. Depending on when you watch this, that may already be up. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please just, maybe go and fondle that like button, comment your thoughts on this movie and this video. Go check out the Z Review, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Bye-bye.